Hey, yeah, oh, 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 yeah.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this past week, only big thing in the news, there were a couple things, well, a few actually. One of the big things was, everyone throwing a fit over Elon Musk unbanning Trump from Twitter. The left in the mainstream media was having a meltdown over it, which was kind of funny because he literally did a poll, and the majority of the people said lay him back on. So it's just ridiculous, them throwing a hissy fit like big babies. And then the next thing I saw was them making a big deal out of the Colorado shooting, where some guy went up into a nightclub and killed a bunch of people in the nightclub. It just so happened to be a gay nightclub, or an alphabet community nightclub, whatever you want to call them. And they're making a big fuss about it. Your Democrats and mainstream media, because it was, an alphabet community club, nightclub, or, they're trying to make it a trans issue and crap like that, and they're making a big deal out of it for political reasons. And I think it's sick and twisted that they're doing that. I don't condone anybody going and committing a mass shooting or shooting a bunch of random people. I think it's stupid. It's retarded. I don't care if they're gay or not. It's wrong. But the hate from the left, trying to politicize and make this a big deal to push their agenda that you're a bigot and you're a piece of shit, if you don't care about them killing gay people or whatever. It's not about that. It's about them pushing a political idea or leftist ideology and forcing it on other people. I would be offended, or I'm offended just for somebody going in and killing people regardless whether they're gay or not. So fuck off, mainstream media, and fuck off, Democrats. Stop politicizing and pushing leftist ideology. It's got to stop. The hate from the left needs to stop, period. Anyways, moving on. The last thing I saw that was really big was Wakanda Forever, bombing big time. It's still going to make a lot of money, but nobody likes the movie. Everybody hates the movie. It's because it sucks. It's full of woke shit, from what I understand. I haven't watched the movie yet, so I can't give you my 2 cents on it. But from what I understand, everybody hates it because of all the woke crap in it. Especially the feminism. Everybody knows feminism is a big lie and an evil cult now. And they just keep pushing that crap over and over. There's a woman that they've been talking about who's been banned from TikTok because she posted a video. This is a black woman. She posted a video where she talks about how feminist this movie and racist it is. You know, the way they're predicting Mexicans or whatever. You know, with the back being wet. You know, it's a racial slur, and that the men in it are weak. And 100-pound women are beating the shit out of all the men. You know, just the retardedness, the racist and woke ideology of, you know, Disney. It needs to stop. It's hateful. Alright, so regardless of all that, like I said, the left needs to stop with all the hate and stop with the communism and the socialism. It's getting ridiculous because that's not what our ancestors fought for. And Hollywood or Hollyweird needs to stop with their politics in the movies and shit. Disney's going down in flames, even though I just heard that they got rid of the new CEO and brought back Bob Iger. Oh, God. He's the one who started all the woke shit, so whatever. Anyways, moving on. What I really want to talk to you about this week was I just got done watching the series Knight Rider, from the original Knight Rider. The one that starred David Hasselhoff, Edward Moher, Patricia McPherson. You did have a couple seasons where you had Rebecca Holden in one season, and in season 2, and in season 4, the last season, you had Peter Peros as RC. Now, the series lasted from 82 to 86. It did 4 seasons. And I'm trying to be careful here because this is an iconic TV show that everybody pretty much knows about. And there are a lot of fans that it's become a cult classic. Now, they did try to do a couple, 2 or 3 like spin-offs or remakes or whatever, and it just didn't work. Nobody liked them. And I think the biggest reason for that, in my opinion, is because, you know, as time has gone on, you know, people have gotten used to, you know, cars having computers and crap like that in them. So it's not a big deal science fiction kind of thing anymore. It's just, yeah, you know, whoop-de-doo now. But anyways, the show is basically about a lone crime fighter who basically helps those who are being done wrong by big corporations or, you know, some serious criminal industries or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Big corporations against the little guy kind of shit is most of the episodes are about. He works for a company called FLAG, which stands for the Foundation of Law and Government, which is run by Edward Moher's character, Miles. Now, the pilot episode shows Michael Knight as Michael Long. It was a different actor who played in the pilot. He supposedly gets hurt so badly they think that he's dead. He was an FBI agent. Michael Long is given reconstructive surgery to his face, and now he looks like now it's David Hasselhoff, and his name now is Michael Knight. He takes on the last name of the man who created the car, Wilton Knight, or who also runs the foundation. Now, Wilton Knight dies, but he made Michael Knight his face into the image of his son, which you later on meet in a couple episodes, named Garth. He went rogue, went evil, and kind of turned on the family. Now there's also a sister, which you do meet in a couple episodes as well. She kind of ends up heading up Knight Industries, or the Foundation. You also have Bonnie, which is Patricia McPherson's character. She works on the kits. She works on the car. She's the computer expert or whatever. Now, they did get rid of her after season 1 and replaced her with Rebecca Holden in season 2. Yeah, I mean, she went by a different name and whatever, and Rebecca Holden, phew, wow. Back in the day, she was a hottie. Completely different. It was kind of hard to see her as a mechanic or computer expert, but whatever, it worked for me. But then Edward and David, they threw a fit. They wanted Patricia to come back and play as Bonnie. So the studio, that was the word I was looking for. The studio decided to bring back Patricia, and she continued for the next 2 seasons as Bonnie. In the last season, you also had RC, which is again played by Peter Burrows. He kind of joins the team. Now, for the most part, the acting was just fine. There wasn't any problem with the acting or anything. I actually liked most of the actors. Even RC to a degree, even though he wasn't really, honestly, it wasn't my favorite. I preferred Rebecca over Patricia just because she was hotter. That's the only reason, honestly. It wasn't like either one had bad acting skills or anything. I like Bonnie too, but I don't know. I prefer Rebecca's character just for eye candy. Anyways, the show wasn't bad at all. In KIT, which stands for Knight Industries 2000, the guy who was voicing William something, I can't remember his last name, the guy who was voicing KIT or whatever, David and him didn't actually meet until after season 1, a little bit after season 1. They met eventually, but they didn't meet at first. They were doing all their lines, going through the script differently. Anyways, the acting was alright. The story, most of the stories were decent. They were okay for what they were. However, I never really sat down and watched the entire series, when it first came out. I'd seen an episode or 2 or something back in the day when I was a kid. But I remember, a lot of guys, they tried to do the whole Michael Knight dress thing, because they thought he was cool and shit back in the day. But looking at it, I'm just like, what the fuck, man? This dude, you know, David's wearing some fucked up looking jeans sometimes, some weird shoes, and sometimes cowboy boots. It was a funny ensemble, I think it was. But anyways, it was kind of cheesy retro, a really bad retro look for back then. Other than that, there was a few things that caught my eye, and I'm not trying to piss anybody off who really likes this show, because I like the show too, don't get me wrong. But there was some pretty cheesy shit in this show. First of all, there were several times where I could see, like, could tell this, that they were stunt doubles, or, you know, in some scenes you could tell that, like they had one scene where they had this helicopter basically following the car around to get camera shots, and you see it in a couple of the episodes. I'm like, what the you guys are supposed to mask that out so people don't see that shit. The other thing was, you know, there's a couple times where you see the camera guys like off in the corner, supposedly hiding and watching them jump something with the car or some crap. Or you'd see, like, I don't know if it was cardboard or whatever, or wood or whatever, you know, covered with dirt, so the car could go over the dirt, or the dirt road better, you know, make it look like it was a dirt stuff, just stuff like that. You know, you saw it every now and then. Almost in just about every episode you'll catch something like that, where they made the mistake of not covering that up properly or something, or keeping the cameras out of view. I will say the one thing that really got on my nerves was the whole, after every they had to do it almost every single episode, and it got annoying after a while. Let's turbo boost, you know, that, oh my god, I was going insane because they kept doing that shit. Let's turbo boost. That was like, you know, his answer for everything to get out of the situation was to turbo boost. And I was just like, come on, that shit's getting old, do something else. Also, if you notice, when they went into when they got in the trailer, you know, they barely could squeeze that car in that trailer. And then, you know, of course, you know, he's able to open his door full wide when he gets out of the car, you know, inside the trailer. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. The same thing, you know, it's like an apartment in this fucking trailer. They got computers and all kinds of shit, plus the front that's like a dining room area. And I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck are you fitting all this shit in this little trailer? Give me a break. But just stuff like that, little perks and twerks that were just ridiculous. But overall, other than that and some cheesy moments, the show was actually pretty good for what it was. It's not a bad show. Definitely give it a chance. Check it out if you like crime fighting with a little bit of sci-fi in it. You know, this is definitely a good show overall. You know, you just have to ignore some of the old graphics. You know, that comes with about any old TV show. But 2 thumbs up. The original Knight Rider was a pretty cool show for the time it was in. Now, I've heard rumors that they're supposed to try to do another remake. I have no idea if they're actually going to do it or not. They've been talking about it for a number of years now, but they haven't done it yet. We shall see. Anyways, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. What's up, movieaholics? So this week is Sci-Fi Week. Now, one of these is a cult classic. The other one, is a pretty B-rated movie, but what the hell. The first one is more of a drama than a sci-fi. I mean, it does have a little bit of sci-fi, even though in actuality, it is plausible. It could be done. So, is more fiction than like science fiction in regards to the story. The first one's called The Manhattan Project. Now, this starred John Lithgow, Christopher Collett, and Lynthia Nixon. It was done in 1986 and made roughly about $4 million. So it didn't do really great at the box office, but it did kind of become a cult classic. Excuse me. Now, the story is basically about this kid who's a genius, has a genius like IQ, and he meets this guy, John Lithgow, who has been working for the government, synthesizing a better rendition or potency of uranium. Now, John Lithgow moves to their city. I can't remember where it was they were at. I want to say Portland, Oregon, but I can't remember where it was at. I'm sorry, I kind of drew a blank. Anyways, he moves to their city, and he meets his mother when he's looking for a place to live. I'm not sure if he's renting or buying, but he's looking for a place to live. She's like a real estate agent, and they all three meet. He tells them, hey, you want to, if you're a science kid, you want to come check, because they talk a little bit about science. He says, you want to come check out the plant I'm working at, I'll show you some lasers, because it had something to do with lasers. He saw him have a book about lasers, and he said, you want some real cool laser stuff, come check out where I'm working, and I'll show you some really cool lasers. So the kid goes to where he's at, where he works, and he sees the lasers, and he's asking all these questions to John Lithgow about this and that, and it's mainly not about the lasers. He's asking all about the uranium. And John Lithgow, he gives him half-ass answers, trying to keep it hush-hush what he's really doing there. And the kid thinks he's making him, thinks he's stupid or something, It's, okay, whatever, He knows what's actually going on. He's not stupid at all, by any means. He's probably smarter than John Lithgow's character, but whatever. Anyways, the kid decides to kind of teach him a lesson. He decides he's going to break into the lab, steal some uranium, and build a atomic bomb, which he does. Now, he doesn't put it all together, but he gets all the parts built, you know, that way it can be put together. Anyways, he steals some uranium and he trades it in for like some shampoo. He does it in the middle of the night, and the way he does it's kind of funny, but he gets away with it. And then he goes to a science fair in New York where he's going to display the bomb at the New York Science Fair. Now, the reason why he's doing this is because him and his girlfriend are kind of doing an activist type thing, letting people know and are aware that, hey, they got a nuclear plant or lab where they're doing research right in our back fucking yard. And that's not cool because they've got radiation leaks going on there, which he proves by showing all these, there's 3-leaf clovers. You know, they've all got multiple petals on them, and they shouldn't have. But it's due to the radiation leak. So, you know, he wants to make people aware because they know if they say anything, they're just going to get shut down by the government. The government's going to keep it quiet and hush hush. So he wants to bring it out in the open. Eventually, you know, the government gets involved and they try to stop him from putting the bomb together, but he puts it together anyway. And then they want to hush him by killing him and killing everybody involved who knows about it. But then something happens to the device and it actually triggers the timer, so it starts counting down, and him and John Lithgow have got to dismantle it before it goes off. Well, by that time, the girl or his girlfriend has called all her friends, and all her friends have called all the press and blah blah blah, and they just have this huge group of people outside the lab. By the time they get it disarmed and everything, you know, the government knows that they're screwed. Everybody knows about what's going on. So now they can't kill anybody and they can't cover it up, and they're going to have to move their secret research facility somewhere else. And that's the end of the movie. Everybody lives happily ever after. It's not a bad movie. It was okay. It was kind of a teeny bopper movie. An 80s teeny bopper movie. Not like the crap you see now. Like on CW. Ugh. All that teeny bopper bullshit. It's just disgusting. Anyways. It was more like, you know, kind of almost a comedy, sort of, you know. Because they meet a whole bunch of other kids at the science fair who help them out and shit and blah blah blah. Anyways, it's a good movie. It's not bad for what it was. You know, it wasn't really action packed or real sci-fi ish. You know, it's more drama, but almost in a comedical way. You know, almost comedy. You know, drama type thing. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's at least worth a one-time watch. Definitely give it a shot. It's kind of family oriented. Not a bad movie for what it was. Like I said, it's kind of become a cult classic. Everybody knows about it. It's one of them type of 80s movies. Now the next one is called Crossworlds. And it starred Rutger Hauer, Josh Charles, Andrea Roth, and of course Jack Black before he was well known. This one was done in 1996. There's no box office numbers for this one. It went straight to video. This one was a little bit strange. It's pretty B-rated. Rutger Hauer, you know, either he kind of goes back and forth between doing A-list movies and B-rated movies. But he's still a decent actor. That's the only reason why I decided to watch the movie, because it had him in it. So the story basically is there's a group of people from not a parallel dimension, but another dimension that have the power to cross in between dimensions into other worlds. And a few of these have taken it upon themselves to become what are known as warlords. And a few of them take over certain, cross over into other worlds and then take them over and enslave the inhabitants of the worlds. One particular world fought back. They still were taken over, but they have formed a resistance group, so they're still fighting. This resistance group kind of spilt over into our world, our dimension. The main character that Josh plays, he ends up getting this crystal that goes to this staff that when you put them together, they can do all kinds of crazy, like magical type looking crap. Yet the warlords, for whatever reason, they seem to be able to do it without the staff and the crystal, so that makes no sense to me. Apparently, his father, he leaves him this crystal, but he doesn't know what it is. His mother never told him, even though she knows what's going on. The girl who works for the resistance, she shows up and then, you know, starts trying to help him escape those who are after the crystal, which she basically led them to it. They didn't know existed until she led them to him. Now he's in the middle of it. He meets Rutger Hauer, his character, who used to be a warlord, but is no longer a warlord. He started fight for the resistance and then opted out after his father died. Apparently they were really good friends. Anyways, the warlord that's trying to take the crystal, they end up getting in a big sparring match in between dimensions or some shit. And for whatever reason, the kid automatically starts knowing how to do shit. It's really bizarre when he really didn't know how to do jack crap. Anyways, they eventually defeat, well, the kid defeats the warlord by sheer luck because he supposedly doesn't know what the hell he's doing, but somehow he figures it out and kills him. Whatever. Rutger Hauer's character decides to stay with the resistance in the other world or dimension, and the girl, she stays on too as one of the fighters, and then, but the queen or so, whatever, the resistance, whatever you want to call her, of that world, she tells the kid to keep the crystal and the staff, and if he wants to join, he can join, which he does. He joins the resistance. However, their sole purpose, him and the girl now, is to protect the stone and the staff in his world, or here on Earth. And that's the end of the movie. It's really confusing. It's really strange. And a lot of it does not make any sense whatsoever. I mean, it really had the... 80s cheese is pretty cheesy, but the 90s cheese was really bad. And it definitely had 90s cheese in it, for sure. The acting, other than Rutger Hauer and maybe Jack Black, the rest, the kid and the girl, their acting was just mediocre. It wasn't really that good. But Rutger Hauer kind of made up for that. It's an okay movie. I don't recommend it because it just left me confused. I didn't know really what really was going on. It just, in the way that they were doing the graphics, and it was just weird looking. It didn't make no sense. Unless you're a hardcore sci-fi fan, honestly, you could pass on this one. It was okay. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't really that good either. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Check it out if you want. But anyways, that's all I have for you this week. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in this video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, if you can think of any underrated movies, or movies you think I may never have even heard of or seen that's not really well known, because that's what I look for to do reviews on for the most part, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.